Here
we go.
There we go. Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Emily.
And my name is Andrew.
With his fancy pants round ice cube, that was the single rock for his Woodinville whiskey pour that he so dramatically made. People who are listening, you just missed Andrew pouring whiskey very slowly into the camera.
And I'll have you know, that's no ice cube. It's a Death Star. It's a Death Star shaped ice cube.
You're
mold.
Kidding me. Is it really?
It really is. I'll have to send you photos. It's great. So when you pop it upside down, it shows like the laser dish on it.
Oh my God, dude.
Because I feel like getting obliterated. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that, folks. Drink responsibly.
Don't get obliterated like I did at Tacos and Beer joint this evening. I'm just kidding.
This will be fine.
I had 2 margaritas. No, I had them a while ago. We're actually recording this in the evening. Normally we record in the morning, so we'll have a different kind of energy today.
But
it's been hot in Seattle, so that energy might just be heat stroke.
Yeah, which I'm intimately familiar with.
Yeah, I believe that, says the guy who poisoned himself with bleach fumes while trying to clean his dishwasher.
I moved to Seattle to get away from this. Because
I know, me too. I lived in Nashville for 8 years.
I lived in Azusa, and it was routinely 110 degrees there because it was right at the base of the foothills. So all the wind over from from over the not Palm Springs, Palmdale. From Palmdale would all come in from the desert over the foothills and drop into the valley. And so we just get these crazy hot winds coming in the afternoon, and just I kid you not, the handle on the back of my Prius melted off. And dripped down the license plate when we lived there.
Well, how about that?
Yeah. So I hated nasty. That. Couldn't deal with it. It was miserable. Like, I'll move to Seattle. It'll be a lot cooler there. What I didn't realize at the time was
no AC.
No one has AC here.
Nah.
These houses weren't built for global warming.
Well, we have a unit in the bedroom that we will start to bring out when it approaches 82 degrees. And we will sleep with it probably a little bit. You know, in Seattle, when it gets to be like 90 degrees, that's really oppressively hot in a 3-story townhome like one I live in.
Yep.
And so my husband and I will put the unit in the bedroom. We'll just hang out in the bedroom all day and like watch TV, and the cat will hang out with us because she will be like, oh, wow, it feels nice.
Yeah, I'm in a Rambler with terrible insulation, big windows, and skylights that I can't shut.
You got to put some foil in those skylights. That's what I did
last year. I just didn't realize it was going to be this hot this week. I wasn't prepped for it. I didn't even have I've got 2 AC units, and didn't have either of them in the windows.
Well, for people who aren't from Seattle, we have something called January, which is the idea that you have a nice spring, and then in June it suddenly gets cold again. But the first 2 days of June were like the hottest days of the year so far. So I believe in global warming. Turn off the podcast now if you don't agree with global warming. It's scientific stuff.
Wow, we just lost 2/3 of our listeners.
I fucking hope not. Like, and honestly, like at this, like, I think we've reached the point that if I say something that's like vaguely to the left of center, if somebody gets mad, then this is the first podcast episode they've ever listened to, and they were never going to like me. And that's fine. I don't need to be liked. I need to be feared.
Oh.
Nobody's afraid of me. Is anybody afraid of me?
Depends on whether they know that you have a boxing gym membership. Yeah. Yep. So I'm melting. I got 3 hours of sleep earlier this week. I was tossing and turning, like wide awake, staring at the ceiling, like sweating.
Oh yeah.
Until about 3 a.m. Finally, I fell asleep. Woke up at 4:30 to pee. Fell asleep again. Alarm went off at 6, and had to get up and be in the office by 7. Somehow I managed to get through my day and actually function and do my job well. I don't know how.
Good for you. You know, my husband also wakes up. He wakes up early like you do. He wakes up at 5, and then he, does his morning routine. He goes for a walk with a neighbor. So I'm used to waking up in the bed like just me and the cat, right?
Yep.
Well, this morning my alarm goes off and I'm like, go like checking my phone. This dude just pops out. He just pops out of bed, pops out in the bed,
Oh, no.
sits up in the bed. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Where did you come from? And it's like, oh, I was taking a nap with the cat.
Aw.
His birthday was Tuesday.
Oh my God. Did I tell you that we lost Poppy?
Wait, you mean like could not find her or she died? Oh. Is she okay? Andrew.
She is now. So yesterday, was it yesterday?
Lead.
No, so yeah, so I went to the gym. I got home. I was taking a shower. I was out of the shower. I was like kind of drying off my hair and getting ready to put it up for the day. And Melissa's like, I can't find Poppy. And I'm sitting here thinking back in my head, I'm like, oh, I didn't see her last night. And she usually sleeps in the bed with us.
But it's been so hot. My cat hasn't been sleeping in the bed with us.
Well, that ended up being what the issue was. We checked every corner of the house, could not find her. I'm freaking out. I got dressed real quick. I'm jogging around the neighborhood. I called my boss and said, hey, boss, I'm going to be late.
Emergency.
It's a family emergency. And he's like, what family member? I'm like, my cat. And he's like, you're all good. Pets are family too. Totally understand. Let me know when you can make it in. Because my boss is a rock star. And I'm running around. I'm asking my neighbors. I'm like knocking on people's doors. Like, can I check your backyard? I swear I'm not going to steal anything. Freaking out. And then Melissa calls me and she's like, we found Poppy. You can come home now.
Where was she?
She was in like the depths of one of the closets, but like had crawled past the normal stuff and was like wedged in like a space like this big.
Where it's dark and cold.
Dark and cold. And apparently she was awoken at that point. Because we were like hitting the food dish, like, Poppy, come get your dinner, you fat lard. Like,
Good reference. Good Napoleon Dynamite reference. Yeah, I told you about the time my niece and my brother and sister-in-law came over, and I thought the cat had like gotten out. I thought we were never going to see her again, and she had managed to somehow get under my dresser, the clearance of which is maybe like 3.5 inches.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's so scary when you can't find a cat because they're just so good at hiding.
They are.
Because like part of your brain is like, it's a cat, it's fine, it's just hid somewhere, they're good at hiding. And the other half of your brain is like, it's gone forever. Yeah,
no, I was definitely like, there's no way that my like 7-pound cat's gonna survive outside. Like the other night, I heard something in the backyard, so I'm like looking at 40-pound raccoon that was like digging up worms in my backyard, tearing up my grass.
Kara would die immediately. She would just have a heart attack the moment she left the house. Yeah.
So that we see coyotes in our neighborhood, and just like, there's no way Poppy makes it.
Yeah.
She's just
I was like, Rick, I think she got out. And he's like, that's not Carrie. She's like afraid of the open door. Like if you open the door, the front door, she scurries out. Yeah, Carrie doesn't. But I thought that maybe she had somehow like gotten somewhere she couldn't get out. I thought she was like stuck and going to die, like stuck in the wall or something. It was terrifying. This is a guitar podcast. This is a guitar podcast dedicated to offsetting the status quo of guitar culture. Please support us on Patreon at patreon.com/getoffset. Leave us a rating review on iTunes. That helps us tremendously, or Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell it's called right now. Like, comment, subscribe on ye olde YouTube. Check out our Facebook and our Facebook group. And speaking of Patreon, if you support us at least the $5 level, thank you, Jeff Covey, for being our newest $5 level Patreon supporter. You get access to our super secret Discord server.
Yeah, it's secret. No one's ever heard of it.
It's secret admission. I mean, listen, you can know a secret club exists, but it doesn't mean you're going to get in.
Right, like the Veiled Prophets.
I still think the most crazy thing about that, I keep calling her Kimmy Schmidt, that Ellie, is that she is of the Missouri Kimbers. And when somebody says you're of the state last name, you just know that family is rich. It's like if you Google her, if you look at her Wikipedia, it says she's a member of the Missouri Kimbers. Like that's a cool Midwestern $500 million.
Yep.
And people aren't calling her an industry plant.
No. Not necessarily an industry plant, just someone who didn't have to worry about paying rent for the first decade of their career so that they could pursue opportunities and career moves to get in the right places.
It's like if you have enough talent, eventually all you need is persistence.
Sometimes, but also I've known talented people that gave up on their persistence because they needed to, make rent and eat.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's never guarantees in showbiz.
Nope.
It helps, though, when your family is.
It helps to have money and not have to worry. So it helps to have a safety net, not have to worry about it, be able to take on unpaid internships. It helps for people to know people. At a certain level of society, people know each other. There's just no way around it.
Yeah. And that just opens some doors.
Like, hey, Vinny, my daughter Ellie, she'd like to get into acting. I am not getting into acting because my Italian accent is terrible. You know anybody we could hire?
That was supposed to be Italian? My dude.
I don't know what it was supposed to be.
Grimes did a better Italian accent when she was Princess Peach on SNL.
I'm going to go with vague mobster.
I think
if it's not specific, it's not racist, right?
One of my favorite Russian one of my favorite accents to do is the Russian accent. Because a friend of mine in high school had a Ukrainian foreign exchange student, and I'll never forget the time we were talking about Alaska, and she says, "United States did not buy Alaska; they are borrowing it." I was like, "We are what? The United States did not buy Alaska; they are borrowing
Sarah
it."
Palin's looking with the binoculars out her window. Oh, it's happening! It's finally happening!
Oh, you know what the difference between a pit bull and a hockey mom is?
Lipstick.
Lipstick. It's lipstick.
Yeah.
It's lipstick. It's lipstick. Oh yeah, sure, you betcha. I just want to go down to the Minnesota State Fair this year, get some Pronto Pups, get a because Pronto Pups are just better than corn dogs because, the corn dog is just not the best batter for a hot dog. You got to really get the, that whole grain. You got to get that whole grain batter because it's just a little bit healthier for you. And then you get some of the Sweet Martha's cookies. You get the big bucket of the cookies. You see them all melted into the pavement by the end of the first week of the fair. Sorry. A very specific subset of people.
Well done.
Yeah. Ryan from Demos to the Dark is going to be like, how's this bitch know about Pronto Pups? The Minnesota State Fair was briefly a client of mine, and I was talking about content ideas for them, and I mentioned Pronto Pups, and they're like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Ohio. I live in Nashville. And they're like, how do you know what a Pronto Pup is, honey? Like, wow, did you do your research?
Oh, Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, sure, you bet.
I've been once. Went to a diner. And
which diner?
And
is it the one from Jingle All the Way?
I say, waiter, could I get a large Coke? And he's like, oh, sorry, we don't do larges here. We only do mini sodas. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is the second time I've told that joke on the podcast too.
It's the second time you've told a mini soda joke?
Yeah, I think I told that joke the first time we had Mike Adams on. I'm going to have to go back and re-listen. I'm pretty sure
We've only had him on once. The once. Does that seem like a farce?
No, we've had him on twice.
You're right.
I'm like, is this heat giving me like fever dreams? Like, is this real? Like someone.
Well, right before this podcast started, I combined the remnants of a lime and a lemon LaCroix and called it a Sprite.
You put the lime in the lemon LaCroix.
You put the lime in the coconut.
Oh, we started this podcast. It was 73 degrees in my room because I've been running the AC all day. I turned off the AC because I love all of your ears. It is now 76 degrees.
Okay. Well, we're going to just keep on going.
Keep on going.
This episode of the Get Offset podcast is sponsored by Rude Tech Effects based out of Nashville, Tennessee. They're makers of the what's it called? What's it called there, Andrew? The 3Ma14?
The 3Ma14.
The 3Ma14. It's 3 Russian Big Muffs in one. You got the black, green, and the Civil War. And you can basically turn it into a little op amp by bypassing that tone circuit. So you bypass the tone circuit, gives it this nice open California sound, which is pretty neat. You can also turn on this optical, shit.
Okay, so as much as I love California, I gotta say I don't love the California sound. Anyways, moving on.
But remember you started with that op amp Big Muff at the Tacoma Guitar Show.
Yeah.
and you ended up trading that up pretty good. You did a pretty good job on that. But getting back to Rude Tech Effects, it's got the optional mids drive that you go after the fuzz, and helps your mids out. And it's a really nice fuzz. I really like it. Check out our demo. Use the code GetOffset to get free domestic shipping and a discount on your international shipping there. Yeah, sure, you bet.
So when you first started that accent, I just assumed that it was Tina Fey or not Tina Fey, Sarah Palin. Same difference.
Well,
and
Tina Fey as Sarah Palin, but more like
this is gotta be scripted. Maybe you've like worked on that particular. Maybe you've worked on like that script that like that bit for a bit with that.
Oh, you
accent.
thought I could just say those words, dude? I lived with someone from Minneapolis for a couple of years. She was the matron of honor at my wedding.
Nailing it.
Yeah, sure. I had a lot of practice. I can actually pull it back and make it a little bit more realistic and less of a caricature. But it's a pretty nice. It's pretty good. Just get some water because you really need that water in your mouth to really get that accent. The water, because they'd say water and not water. I love Minneapolis. And
my pop's from Jacksonville, Florida, and he's always said water, and it's always bugged me.
That sounds more Philly.
Can you get me a glass of water?
I can't
say it. I can't say it the same way that my pop says it. I don't know. But he's like he was born and raised in Jacksonville, but then lived in Nebraska for the last 30 years.
Because I feel like that's really a Philly thing.
It's not wooter. There's a different vowel inflection going. It's similar, but there's a difference going on there.
It's like wooter, dooter. Can you get my dooter some wooter from the Wawa?
There's like two vowels happening in sequence, even though there's only one vowel in the word before the T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Water. My mom has been upset because I feel like I've been turning some of my T's in the middle of words into D's, and she gets upset about it. But my parents have always been kind of like, well, they would get mad if I would say like as in a sentence like that. But like, I think I was saying fur instead of for, and they were like, it's fur, it's for, not fur. I'm like, yeah, who cares? I don't care.
Well, that was a great ad spot for Rude Tech. Go check them out.
Yes, and check out the Ain't Afraid Fuzz, and the kit was actually quite fun to put together. I have it over there.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! What's new with you?
What's new with
Other than
me?
The heat. We're heat crazy right now.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared. So what's new with me is I installed this window unit, and the hose isn't quite as long as I thought it was going to be. I might have to rethink how I've got my space built out here.
Stay on the mic.
I might have to rethink how my space is built out in here, just to accommodate the AC.
Why can't you just put it up against the window?
Well, because it's not a window unit; it's a floor unit with a hose that goes to the outside. Then I have to fit the hose into the window, but I don't have sliding windows or sliding windows. I used to be a mime. I'm really good at it.
So how is this supposed to work?
I've got one of those like hand crank windows that goes out like this. And so what I do is you put the hose for it like in where the hand crank is, and then crank it taut against it, so it's between the edge of the window.
And then you have to put like some cardboard and paper.
So right now I haven't done it. Last year what I did is I like custom cut like some styrofoam for it, got it fitted in, some duct tape, some fiberglass insulation, another piece of styrofoam, kind of just got it all insulated and completely like no airflow, no heat should have been coming through it. It was pretty rock solid. It looked ugly. Yeah. It's definitely some
you only need it a couple months of the year though, so that's kind of nice.
Right now I currently have some exposed fiberglass insulation up top that was just laying around that I grabbed without a glove and just stuffed up there. And my towel.
How's your hand now?
Week. It's fine. Just wash it after.
All right. I think I've been I've been really busy And I'm just going to tell folks I've been so busy and really overwhelmed. And now that things are starting to open up, like I did all this stuff to fill my time when the band was kind of on hiatus because of COVID, and now they're coming back. And I was thinking, like, how can I juggle all this stuff at once? I haven't read a book in a year. I haven't really been able to have fun with guitar and stuff because I've been so busy working. I finally put in notice on a freelance gig that I've been doing with the company I'd started with back in 2006. I've been doing some help with them on the weekends. But I tell you what, I miss weekends. I haven't read a book in a year. But I was reading Mark Lanigan's autobiography, his memoir, and he talked about he was out with a lady in West Seattle, and they ended up having sex on the hull of a boat. Oh. And he didn't realize that the boat was fiberglass.
Oh, no.
And the next day, his ass was just burning. And he found out that it was because of all the friction from having sex with this woman on this boat. So he just a bunch of shards of fiberglass in his ass. And I could not stop laughing. I was like, this is why I need to read more. Because stories like this will bring me such laughter.
Which reminds me, you know what the difference is between Bud Light and sex in a boat?
Lipstick. What's the difference between a pit bull and a hockey mom? I was just pulling the punchline from another joke. What was this? Sex on a boat and Bud Light?
Well, sorry, I misspoke. What do Bud Light and sex in a boat have in common?
They'll both make you nauseated? What is it?
They're both fucking close to water.
That's the first time you said the F word on this podcast, maybe. Like that.
I think I've said it once or twice before.
You probably said it back when we were still bleeping, because we're not bleeping anymore.
What? It's fine.
Listeners, he made a face. You can just imagine a Scooby-Doo
Yikes,
face.
Scoops! Zoink, Scoops!
Oi! Oi!
They're after us!
Oh, no! Oh, my God. Well, that's...
Raggy.
I got my niece into a little bit of Scooby-Doo, but I don't think she was super duper impressed.
I like how the villains in Scooby-Doo are always like old white men.
They are.
With money.
It's so realistic. All right.
Time to find out who's been ruining the economy.
I shouldn't have said that, dude. All right. Yes. Sorry.
Oh, I do have something that's actually new with me. I forgot. I have stickers. Just some samples I'm sorting out and looking at doing.
It is Swell with My Soul sticker with his Bernie ball, his guitar pedal, his volume
with a
pedal.
nondescript volume pedal. Thank you. And then here's a big one. That'll probably be easier to see on camera.
I think you call them Bernie volume pedals.
I think I will not refer to them directly.
It's generic. I'm going to sideways hold up an identical volume pedal that is definitely not a Bernie Vol, and it is
and looks almost identical to what I have.
It is, because that is the shape of a volume pedal.
And anyone who happens to create a unit that looks relatively similar to this should be happy that it's being used in a very positive way.
Shout out to my friend Tim from Ernie Ball.
On a completely unrelated note.
Well, I said Ernie Ball, so now I just want to say, hey, Tim, thank you for letting me demo the Stingray RS, the Music Man Stingray RS. It was maybe one of the nicest guitars I've ever played in my life, just straight from a construction standpoint. Like it's not tuna tone, but it was very, very nice and obviously thoughtful, like the people who made it play guitar. And, just sometimes those little extra touches. Like I play a lot of budget guitars, a lot of Squires, especially because of the demo channel. It's really nice to every once in a while just be like, oh yes, this is what we as human beings have the capacity to make something this absolutely stunning.
Their QC's top notch.
You can tell why they're like $2,400.
Yep. No, I this is going to make sense in a moment. I really dislike gold hardware in 98% of guitars. It's not for me. Purple. Even then, no. For the most part, it's not my thing. I'm not poo-pooing anyone else. It's just personal preference. It doesn't sit well with me. I will always go for chrome. I mean, look, right? I didn't even get a yellow gold wedding ring. I mean, it's not my thing.
Do you want to see my wedding ring?
Sure.
This is my wedding ring.
That's not. It's slinky.
It's silicone.
Anyway,
your camera's fuzzy now. So.
Come on, buddy. And no, did that not do it?
Oh, you made it worse. You gotta move around wildly.
We're trying to there we go.
That worked.
Yeah, that one worked. Sorry, you just got it close to my nose.
Andrew was putting his hand over his camera lens to try to get it to refocus. It didn't work, so then he just put his face really close to it and then slowly backed away. And that
you can see like the pores in my nose.
Yeah, I'm not doing that right now because I have a little.
I'm a walking ad for like what is like the Biore pore strips. You know, this like you put like it looks like a little like mini mask for your nose, and it like glues on your nose, and you rip it, and it pulls out all the gunk out of your pores.
Yeah, I wanted those really badly in high school. My parents were like, "No."
Oh, it's horrifying when I do it.
I mean, it seems really cathartic.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. I haven't done it in a while. I should do that again. Anyway, I'm getting so sidetracked.
So your stickers, you got stickers.
Did a limited run. I am working my way back to stickers. Like I started stickers. We have now worked our way into several rabbit trails. I need to work my way through to get back to the stickers.
Holes. You chase rabbits down holes.
Sure. That makes sense. That's valid. Now that we've resolved that rabbit hole, Ernie Ball did a James Valentine signature limited run with gold hardware, the white and the roasted maple neck. I love the James Valentine signature in general. I think it's a really great guitar. I think the routing for it is really clever. I think it sounds great, feels great. If I were to get an Ernie Ball guitar, that would be the guitar I get, no questions asked. With St. Vincent being a close second. And
I was thinking St. Vincent. I really am hoping I'm going to get to try and demo at least the Goldie series, if not all of them. Yeah. So
anywho, that one had gold hard. The one I'm thinking of, I can't remember if it was a Guitar Center exclusive or not. But I remember it having gold hardware. I'm like, it works on this. I actually I would have this on my wall, no questions asked. Really like it.
Yeah.
So, and then working back to stickers, my friend, who I used to work at Guitar Center with once upon a time, her name's Stephanie. Her and her partner starting a sticker business. They sent me a couple of these samples.
Cool! They're two different sizes.
Yeah, so I got two different sizes. I think this is like a 5-inch and like a 2.5 inch.
Nice.
They look great. I got a sample from a dropship company,
and they weren't so good.
Well, two of them showed up smudged. I was really unhappy about that. I made them resend them to me out of principle. But then I looked closer on the back of it. It literally says AveryLabels.com, which means they're just taking Avery paper. I'm like, if it literally says Avery, I can't give this to a customer that's going to look that. I'm going to feel really weird about that. So I'm giving away those samples.
If it's the people I've used for shirts and we've discussed before, you have to charge so much for those stickers to make any
it's like $5 for a sticker.
It's like I put them up just because people were asking for them, but I just want you to know, friends, if you order a Get Offset sticker, we literally don't make money from them.
Yep. No, I'd have to charge like $8 for a sticker to make a couple dollars.
Which is so stupid.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
It's a sticker. They're not even as good as like the sticker.
I've given up on the idea that I'm going to monetize on stickers. That's fine. I'm looking at supporting a friend who's starting a small business.
Usually you just give stickers away. I mean, the only people who should sell stickers are like bands.
Right. I'm thinking about ordering some, starting to include them in Fox Cairo orders. I don't know if I'm going to. It doesn't make technical financial sense, and I'm a terrible businessman, but it's the sort of fun thing that I like to add to my brand. So I like supporting friends. So I'm probably going to do that in the next couple weeks. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got an artist working promotional agreement.
Nice.
Yes. And one of the things says When blogging about the company's products or services, you must clearly disclose your material connection with the company. See, that's an agreement.
There you go.
Signed, sealed, delivered. Do you want to know what's new with me?
You got to teach me what an EPK was?
I got to teach Andrew what an EPK is. No.
I've never heard the acronym before, and as soon as I looked, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I kind of know what this is already.
An EPK is an electronic press kit, and I just did one for Sunday Crush as an example to use in a blog post I wrote for a company called ConvertKit. So check out that. It should be live this week, actually. I'm pretty proud of it. I use this tool to take screenshots where I could make GIFs of the things I was doing on the screen, which is actually
Sorry,
really
making
nice.
what?
GIFs.
Okay. Melissa and I have been having this argument for a while, so.
I'll say it whichever way. I have zero preference. I'm trying to think if there's anything material I've gotten lately, and I know that there has, and I just literally cannot find it because I've been literally too busy to live. Hold on one second. Oh boy, this is actually a problem. This is bad. I can't find.
Here, let me put something else that I ordered recently. Ta-da! Okay. I got one of my shirts in charcoal gray or charcoal heather. I don't know.
Oh gosh! And for the summer, are you bonkers? You'll pit out immediately.
Yep.
You're gonna pit out.
I made one small change to the shirt. You guys can sort out what it is. If you figure out what it is and let me know, you get a crisp high five. Is that a Ranger FX unit?
Yes. I'm holding it up.
What is it? What is it? That looks like too big of a box to be the mini bar. Is that the drum machine? Oh my God, it's the drum machine!
It's the snare trap.
Shut your snare trap.
I just opened it on this podcast. It's number 61.
So close to perfection.
I'm actually really excited about this. I'm going to put it right into my White Whale by Bookworm Effects. Actually, I really could do that right now and pick it up. But I also got to have a band practice with my band this week.
Trip
for the
out.
first
what was that
time
like?
Since before Halloween. Let me tell you, I was walking up to our practice space, and I hear my bandmates just laughing, and I thought to myself, life is good. Life is good.
That's a good feeling to have.
Yeah. I need to figure out how this... I actually have no idea how this works. Turn some things up. It's not... Oh! Maybe I plug in the sound maker.
Oh.
Sorry, I just redid my desk because it was messy.
That's totally fair. I cleaned off my desk last week and now I can't find anything. It's funny how that works. Unrelated. Now that I'm starting, I'm in the back of my brain, I'm now psychoanalyzing what that quote unquote Italian accent was. My vague accent? Generic mobster accent. And I'm wondering if I didn't pick that up. I'm thinking in the back of my head that it's a voice that John Mulaney does that I'm doing a really bad job of mimicking.
Well, his voices aren't supposed to be like good voices.
No, they're not like great recreations necessarily. They're just comedically useful. Like I can just hear, I forget what special it's from. I can just hear him saying "scram."
Yeah, scram. Well, he's got like an Italian accent, and it is what it is. But yeah, I just heard my bandmates laughing, and it made me so happy. I have missed them so much, and it's just so nice. It was the first in-person practice we've had since the pandemic.
Finally, stunning proof that Emily does have a tuner. I'm a terribly rude person, and I know this.
Wait, what was the proof that I have a tuner?
Yeah.
I didn't tune anything.
That's the joke. It's a bad joke. It's a mean joke.
It is a bad joke. I don't get the joke.
I just want to hear the drums.
I know. I need to read the user manual. This is very exciting for listeners.
I probably should have read the user manual for my dishwasher.
Yeah. Well, I think you should have read the manual for bleach.
So to clarify, I was reading through the comments, and I didn't mix it with ammonia or anything else. It's not like I had a dishwasher pot in there. So there's nothing else in the dishwasher. That just means I was inhaling bleach. I wasn't inhaling anything else. I'm doing a great job of defending myself now.
Yeah, defending yourself against inhaling bleach.
Soaked in bleach.
I'm gonna have to watch a demo of this.
That was a fruit fly. No, the fruit flies have returned. It's the worst part of every summer.
You hear it?
Yeah. Where do you? I just saw the fruit fly.
Yeah. This is not the time to try to be figuring this out.
I imagine you're supposed to step on it, right?
I can't mess with this right now. I'm so sorry. All right. That was too much. That was already too much. But yeah, I had the first band practice and we just jammed. We jammed like no one was watching. And
well, was anyone watching?
The neighbor, once we had a neighbor yell at us because the people who had rehearsed in that space before us, like nights before, went too late. Mm-hmm. And we were like, but that wasn't us. And she's like, but you know who it was. And we said, we do not. And then she said, well, you need to tell them. I'm like, we're sorry that happened, but you're not mad at us. Isn't that just like amazing when someone, you're like, you're not mad at me, but you're yelling at me.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. So that was that situation. But no, we just jammed. We had some stuff we were working on right before the pandemic, and we went through and remembered the chord progressions and some of the riffs. Had an open jam too, and we booked our first gig. We're booking our first gig. I can't confirm it yet, but we'll be playing live shows real soon. Fully vaxxed and relaxed.
Fully vaxxed and relaxed. That's the anthem of my hashtag sweaty boy summer.
Vaxxed and relaxed band pracs.
So what's this I hear about what we're speaking of vaccinations, we're getting entered into drawings for money just for getting vaxxed or something?
In Washington? Yeah,
I heard something about Inslee freeing up a bunch of money to try and convince people to get vaccinated by opening up a...
Well, they did it in Ohio, and allegedly, I didn't look into it all, but I've heard it was really successful that for 5 days in a row, they were giving away $1 million a day to someone who had gotten at least one vaccination shot. And so far, the people who have won that I saw publicity on was an 8th grade boy and a woman in college, which is exactly who you want to see winning that money because, damn, that's a very life-changing amount of money for somebody in college. For anybody, $1 million is life-changing for anybody who doesn't already have $1 million.
Yeah. I imagine just walking up to a realtor and be like, I'd like to buy a house. I'm like, oh, are you pre-approved? And they're like, no.
Nope.
Oh, well, are you sure you should be like, I got cash, let's go.
Got cash. No, what's it called? No inspection, cash. Cash, no inspection. I had a friend.
That should be the name of a band that caters to middle-aged nostalgia.
Just cash, no inspections? What?
Yep. I think that's a great idea. No. Kind of along the realm of middle class fancy, but in a band of pop punk covers, because pop punk is what the heyday of pop punk is 20 years ago now. So a lot of the people that are teenagers during that era are kind of.
The heyday of pop punk is 2001, boys and gentlemen, according to Andrew.
It's give or take 10
Come
years.
at him, not at me. Not me. I'm like a middle-aged millennial. I'm not an elder millennial. I'm not a young millennial. So I'm
a
like
younger millennial.
You are. I know. You're not a Zoomer. The kids are all right. I like the Generation Z.
I think they're all right. My last job, I worked with a kid who would like just like turned 18 while he was on the job. And that was super strange. I'm like, oh yeah, like we could get along and stuff. And he's just like, goes back to Snapchat and just ignores me. Like, Tyler, like, I thought we were going to be friends here. And he's like, you're old.
Because we're both young.
I remember he called me old once and I'm like, that's it. I give up.
I'm sorry. You're not allowed to call somebody old unless they're at least 30. And I say this as a woman who's 32.
I think I was like 24 and he's like, shut up, old man. Something like that.
I like that kid.
He's I resist the urge to be rude and mean back because I can't beat up a child.
How old was he?
He was 17, I think, when he said that. He was just trying to fit in with the big kids. Wanted to push back a little bit. I'm like, all right, fine, you can have this one. Here's your street cred. Enjoy.
So you only get one.
But do that again and I will mess you up.
If you shoot at me, you better
just
not
kidding.
Miss.
Sorry, HR. I was kidding. I did not mean that.
No HR. I haven't worked at a company with HR since I was 22 years old. And one of those companies, I needed it. But let's get back talking about my band practice. It felt good, dude, playing music with people in the room with them without masks, knowing that you all are vaccinated and safe. Like, that's shit, dude. That felt normal. It felt good. Like, I needed that.
Yep.
Like, badly. Because it's been like I was just talking about, like, I know a lot of people lost work this year, but as someone who started working from home, I'm literally saying no to freelance gigs every week now because I'm just overwhelmed. And so to finally like get back to the thing that I actually enjoy doing, I don't want to work my life away. Like, I'm in my 30s. This is like the last decade of like youngish. And right. I don't want to spend it just like working every weekend just to get some extra scratch. Like, you know what? I work really hard to be able to like afford things, but then I don't have the time to enjoy the things.
Yep.
And I think that's just bananas. Like, yeah, you know, I make enough money now. If I go on vacation, I can stay in like an okay hotel, not a nice hotel, but not the Red Roof Inn by the airport or the river. Like,
oh my God. I've stayed in a Red Roof Inn once. And it was the scariest experience of my life.
I've stayed in some really nice Red Roof. The thing about Red Roof Inns is that they are like a Charlie Kelly wild card they're the Charlie Kelly wild card of motels. And sometimes they are so nice. I stayed in one in Louisville that had just been redone and it was luxurious. And I've stayed in ones in South Austin where you kind of want to just sleep on top of the sheets. But the scariest place I've ever stayed, I'm pretty sure I told a story about the Econo Lodge in Memphis. That was just like the top 4 levels of a parking structure. Nice. That was the scary. I thought I was going to die that night.
Only time I've stayed at a Red Roof Inn was in San Dimas in the LA area. And the bathtub was stained like a rusty red. And it's not like the fixture was rusted, which can only mean one thing. Someone died in that bathtub.
Like, listen, somebody's died in every hotel on the planet. Like, you gotta kind of get past it.
But no one dies a bloody death in a. Okay, that's actually not necessarily true. People do die bloody baths in bathtubs by accident.
Oh wow! Next topic. Next topic.
Look, we talked true crime last week. I can mention that as my. We talked about it briefly, and then I had a nightmare. I can mention that ever so briefly. I'm
sorry that mentioning true crime at 9:45 in the morning gives you a nightmare.
It
12
was
hours later.
I could.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm just going to assume that that's a theme song from a true crime show.
The True Crime Show.
Which is?
No. Unsolved Mysteries.
I don't want to know. We can't talk about it. I feel like we had an episode topic this week.
There it is. Yes, it's playing songs outside of your genre, your comfort genre. Like, we all have that comfort genre.
Yeah, that's right. You were going to teach me how to do chicken picking, right?
No, you don't want that, man. I'm going to tell you right now, dude. You don't want that. You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to be so embarrassed. If I did this on it. I thought you said that you didn't want to do this actively because you were rusty. Speaking
I'm
of
very rusty. It's embarrassingly so.
Yeah. So, do you really want to do that? Because
no, I just want to hold a guitar and look cool.
No, you see, I think that was the truth, and that wanting to learn was the joke.
Yeah. Don't we all just want to hold a guitar and look cool? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's why my husband is always the one who carries my guitar into venues.
Plays D chord. And in case the listener was not already aware, Emily is a much better guitar player than I am. And I'm okay with that.
You know, I play a lot more.
That's fair. I don't have a problem
I've been playing longer. But,
that is true.
You know, all right. So, like, the thing is, like, everyone has those genres that they feel really comfortable in. Maybe it's punk. Maybe it's just, like, classic kind of rock. Maybe it's metal. Maybe it's country. But I feel like it behooves everybody, every guitarist, to dig into genres that are maybe interesting to them. And even if you learn how to do that kind of stuff badly, if it's something that you can then translate kind of back into your music,
totally.
Like as a game of telephone, sometimes that can make some really interesting things. Like, are you familiar with hybrid picking at all, Andrew?
I've heard the term. I actually don't know how to do it.
It's okay. So you take a guitar pick and you hold it between your thumb and your index finger, and downstrokes are with the pick, but you free up your middle finger and your ring finger, and every upstroke is going to be those. So that's actually something I use in Sunday Crush a lot, which is funny because Sunday Crush is not a country band. So it's like a plucky kind of sound. So in Good Boy, the riff is. And then the main riff is. So I pluck. Instead of strumming those two notes, because I'm playing two notes at a time.
Oh yeah, I've done that before. I guess I didn't realize that's what that was called.
Yeah, it's called hybrid picking, and it's called pinching when you do two at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into any licks with you, but a big thing, and country music just loves major chords. So, like that riff I was playing, it's just walking down a major scale. So I go up to the D string with my middle finger, slide up to D string, 9th fret, downstroke, and then on the B string, 8th fret, I pluck up. I do the slide. And then the thing about chicken picking is muted strings, usually on the downstroke for the things that I've been playing. So. And then on the G string, you just do a walk down. But you're doing the clucking on that down string, on that downstroke, on the D string every time. So you up. Oh, I'm sorry. The first note you hit on the G string is in the 10th fret.
The first note on the G string is on the 10th fret. There we go.
So then after you pluck dun, dun, That's what you got, right? That's what you've got down pat. I can hear it. It's a muting, but it's not a palm muting on the right hand. You're muting with the picking hand. And that's that clucky chicken sound.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I do that in Sunday Crush. We were jamming and Jenna starts playing on the hot top 2 strings. I'm like, so like I heard in my head that's very country walk down. Very country. So being able to incorporate that kind of country lick into a non-country genre, I think evokes something that makes it more sonically interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. And like the thing about chicken picking is it's often very fast. Like, oh. That was sloppy as hell, but again, 2 margaritas at me. I think that was okay. I think it was okay for 2 margaritas. Andrew's finished his whiskey, so that was pretty okay for a whiskey and a Death Star. But another thing that I've really get back on the mic, Emily.
In fairness to me, I did pour a second one. I don't know if you've noticed. I finished that too. I'm stopping now. I will go back to hydrating like a normal person for the rest of the night because I have work tomorrow.
You don't?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah, so I've also, She Shreds this week has been promoting sort of a lesson with Melanie Faye, that excellent R&B guitarist out of Nashville. So she did something with pickup guitar classes, like an R&B course. And so She Shreds has like the one part of that course up and available for free. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. It's really cool. And she just kind of walks through this R&B chord progression with an example, something that she did with a lot of really beautiful flourishes. And it's really gotten my creative juices flowing. It's nice. Like, I know I've been really busy, but I found a little bit of time in these past couple weeks to pick up some country licks because it's a genre I really like, and I think Sunday Crush is going to do more kind of country inspired stuff. But like that Melanie Faye course, I'm like, that's not. I've never played like an R&B style guitar outside of learning a couple Prince songs, and most of the Prince kind of songs I learn are either very heavily in the rock genre or the funk genres. So that has been just really illuminating and really fun. So and it's not. I don't listen to a ton of R&B. You know, I really appreciate it, but it's not the kind of genre. It's not the kind of thing I as frequently seek out as other things. Like, I'm really a big fan of indie rock and folk rock, like folk indie. Like, my favorite record that came out this year was a Katy Kirby record, Cool Dry Place, which is, I think, it's just a beautiful, beautiful record. But I think it's important. I think if you're not doing that as a musician, if you're not trying to learn things outside of your wheelhouse, because that's also outside of your comfort zone, you're really holding yourself back and you're really only hurting your own progress.
What are your thoughts on a slap on guitar?
I think it's really cool. Prince used to do this thing where he would hold his guitar pick between his index and middle finger, and he'd pick with that, and he'd do kind of like the slap bass thing with his thumb. Yeah. Nice. Who does that? Where'd you learn that?
I made it up. I don't know.
That's cool though. My bassist borrowed the Rick's Bass 6, and they were playing it at practice and plucking and slapping. It's
taken so much self-control not to order the CME exclusive in Shell Pink.
Dude, I know. Oh, Andrew just bit into his Telecaster.
Which I didn't think that I could actually fit my mouth around that.
I'm actually surprised by that. Oh, you learn. See, you gotta learn more things about your guitar, especially about your guitars. You know,
can you put your guitar in your mouth? That's an important thing.
Oh, dude. I'm going to hold back on the joke I was going to make. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I feel like we had some good chit chat, banter, and stuff.
Oh, for
and
sure.
I had a lot of fizzy water, so I'm trying to not burp into the microphone. You're welcome, dear listeners. You're welcome.
I was going to try and fake burp, but I can't do that actually.
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to close us out on?
Well, for starters, I'm probably going to have to watch through this episode again. I'm going to give that chicken pickin' lick another go. Sorry, I mixed up my words there.
Yeah.
And
it's just like just the hybrid picking itself. It takes practice, but like I think after maybe 30 minutes of just doing it a lot, it became a lot. It became more natural, like anything. But I was surprised at how quickly I was able to pick up the hybrid picking, because it seemed like I'm used to playing with my fingers or a pick, and playing with both is not something I had done before.
I think the other contribution that I'd like to make is arpeggiation is something that I learned a bit in playing some metal riffs, and I've just bringing that back into like some more not as intense. Something like that is just slowing it that way down, adding some effects, super soothing. Just outlining chords that way is just, I think, is really nice. But that's not where I originally learned that from.
Underdone because people want to do too often. I think people just want to show off and show what technical skills they have, but not realizing that like it's still, the building blocks are all still like usually things you learn pretty early on.
Yeah.
And sometimes going back to more basics is really important. Like being a bass player playing like octaves, for example, is a lot more effective than people give it credit for. Same with guitar for octaves. But like most country stuff is just a combination of major and minor pentatonic and major scales. Right. And it still is very cool, very engaging, really gets a reaction from people. And it's mostly, I won't say it's mostly, but like for country chicken picking, largely it's, speed and tastefulness. And if you can't play it slow, you can't play it fast. So just start slow and build your way up and know that you're going to get better, because you can only get better. You cannot get worse. That is not a thing.
I took another stab at trying slide again this week.
Oh, I'm bad at it.
I'm really bad at slide. I was trying to learn I got about halfway through the solo for Learning to Fly by Tom Petty, which isn't that hard as far as slide goes, but it was really hard for me. Yeah. But it's fun. It's fun to play around with that kind of stuff and get the juices flowing. Like, this isn't applicable to the things I would normally want to try and play, but I could see having some fun with it.
Yeah, it's like when I got that Yvette Young YY10 and for a few weeks, and I learned that Yvette Young riff, and I'm like, I have never done something like that, like ever, and it was really, really cool and fun. And
side note,
I've already forgotten it.
Have you seen that Yvette Young's been like low key friends with Willow Smith, and it's super cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Willow Smith just posted a video with Yvette Young's signature.
Nice.
Playing a riff on it. I'm like, oh, snap.
Willow's so that's talented. A thing. Yeah, Willow's certainly a talent that stands on her own.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think that's a good place to end it, is fangirling about Willow Smith. Andrew's obviously got somewhere to be, and I understand. I also somewhere to be in that place called
I've got more of the issue of it's 79.5 degrees in here. Yes. So it's gone up almost 10 degrees since we started recording. I'm like,
well, thanks for watching.
Stick around 5 more minutes to see Andrew die on the show.
Thanks for listening, and thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily.
And thank you for watching. My name is Andrew.
Goodbye.
Bye.